Today, I'm going to share with you some of the best mental health gifts that I recommend as a therapist. My name is Denais, and I'm a therapist and mindset coach based in Dallas, Texas. I use these items in my life, and they have helped support better relationships, one with myself, with others, and overall have just helped support my mental health. I do want to say a disclaimer that I am giving you these as suggestions and recommendations. Please be mindful of where you are at budget wise, and if these are some items that you think are necessary for your life. So again, these are just suggestions, recommendations. By all means, I'm not trying to persuade you to buy these items, but I am just going to giving you an idea of what some items you could get for yourself for this new year, or for someone else during the holidays that you would want to help them and support their mental health. And I'm gonna do it in sections. So this first section is gonna be all about journals. I always recommend the 5-minute journal from Intelligent Change, but earlier this year, they actually created a fit edition version of the 5-minute journal. And I highly recommend this if you are currently in a fitness journey, you want prompts gravitated to supporting you through your fitness journey, and also just to support you in your overall wellness. So this is more of like a wellness journal. Some of the prompts, there's like a fitness tracker, so like a habit tracker, so you can track all of your habits. And so like, see, I use this one myself. You can track your habits. You have weekly challenges. You have like, what is my intention for this week? What is my fitness goal for this week? And how will I motivate myself? I really love that because it really does help you kind of get the week started off right. And it also has a place to put meals for meal planning and just like activities that you're planning to do. So this is very much focused on wellness, fitness. It even has a mood tracker and your energy level. So I really like this. I used it myself. This is a 6-month journal. So I also enjoy that too. I gravitate more towards journals that are either just like 6 months, quarterly, or monthly, because I believe that every season maybe deserves a different kind of tool. And by all means, if you have a journal that you love, keep it. But this is definitely one that supported me when I was really focused on my fitness. So that is one of my favorite journals from Intelligent Change. And the other journal that I've been wanting to try, this is one I haven't tried, but I love the concept behind it. So this is Notes to Mindfulness. And one of the reasons why I really liked it, so this is how it looks. It comes in different colors on the website. And again, this is also an Intelligent Change product, but I really like the cover. It comes in a lot of different colors for fit anybody's aesthetic. But one of the things that I love about this, it has prompts on, just like the 5-minute journal, it has weekly check-ins, but this one has questions like, what is my number one priority for this week today? What do I want to do less? What do I want to do more? This week I want to feel this way I will do X. So I really think it's a great tool if you're someone who feels sometimes that like your week just gets away from you and you don't start with intentions and self-awareness of how your week went. It has daily pages, and it has this page says self-awareness. It says, today I am noting, like, what are you noticing about your day? The next one is, did I follow through with my morning routine today? Today I am celebrating, and 3 important actions I can take to help my day feel successful are. So I really love this, and the intent on really focusing on mindfulness. So I'm excited to use this for 2024. And I think that is something that if you are trying to feel less anxious, you really want something that can ground you, I would start with this journal. But there's also the 5-minute journal, so I think you can't go wrong. I will say 5-minute journal, more for beginners. Mindfulness journal, I think you're a little bit more advanced. So just a disclaimer there, I do feel like this is a little bit more advanced. So that is one of the journals. Now, the next journal recommendation that I recommend as a mental health gift is called the Peacefully Productive Journal. This is my current journal, and this is a quarterly journal, and I absolutely love this. Again, it's kind of similar to the mindfulness journal. where you have morning check-ins, weekly check-ins. Actually, no. So with this journal, you have a morning and an evening section, and you do have quarterly and monthly pages where you can reflect, set new intentions, and you do have those like monthly check-ins, which I love. I appreciate when we're able to like reflect. And it has, when you start the journal, you'll have a section where you talk about how you want the next 3 months to go. So for me, this is one that I did between August, September, and October, and I really enjoyed it. So this is a quarterly journal. Again, you don't have to commit to it all year, which I love, and it is really good for people who are wanting to just get more out of their morning routine, more of their evening routine, and just kind of have, you know, learn the practice of journaling. And it has a space to free write as well. The way Jess says this is what is on your heart. So what is going on? This is a place where you can declutter your mind, you can put down thoughts, and I really think this is a really great journal. I've used it for 2 years now, on and off, so I go between the 5-minute journal and this one, and I've really enjoyed it. So my next recommendation is this journal by Summer Minding called The Affirmation Pages. It is an anti-anxiety journal, and it focuses on the practice of using affirmations to really ground us and for us to be more mindful about our thoughts, changing those negative thoughts that sometimes are hard to replace. But by using affirmations, this will help create that change in our mind. So it gives us a bunch of affirmations. You actually have to rewrite the affirmation down, repeat it to yourself, and you also pick a word that you want to embody that day. This is really helpful, especially for someone who struggles with negative self-talk. I highly recommend this. I really enjoyed using this journal with my other journals because it's so different than the other ones. This one just focuses on affirmations. So for this section, it is all about books. So books that I recommend to give that I think help support healthy relationships and mental health. So my very first one, if you are someone who struggles with habits, highly recommend Atomic Habits by James Clear. I really enjoyed reading this. I recommend it all the time to my clients who struggle with creating morning routines, evening routines, who struggle with creating healthy habits or changing behavior that doesn't support them. I always recommend this book. So it's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. My next book recommendation that you can give someone or yourself is The Anxiety Toolkit. I recommend this to my clients who struggle with anxiety and are looking for strategies to help them manage their anxiety. I love that this book, you don't necessarily have to read it in chronological order. You can pick a chapter that most resonates with you and read that chapter. So if you struggle with perfectionism, there's a chapter in this. If you struggle with rumination, like overthinking, there's a chapter in this. And I really like it. It's so easy to read. And I really think that the author really gives you some very easy strategies to follow in order to minimize anxiety. My next book recommendation that I've been recently reading is called Generation Anxiety by Dr. Lauren Cook. Lauren is someone that I was introduced on Instagram to, and I love seeing her and all the positivity that she brings on Instagram and her social media accounts. And I'm so proud of her for creating this book because I really do believe that we all, I don't know if this is something with the millennial generation and Gen Z, but we've just been going through it, and I really enjoyed reading this book, especially if you struggle with just a lot of uncertainty in this world. This is a really good book to gift to yourself or to someone else, or you could even read it for book club. So I really recommend this book. The next book recommendation that would be a good gift for the new year is called Self-Compassion by Kristen Neff. If you struggle with your inner critic, or you struggle with giving yourself grace, compassion, this is really a great read. The author talks about her own experience in her own journey in learning more about self-compassion. So I really like that format in a book where the author is teaching you along the way based on their personal experience. I learned through stories, and so I think this is a really great book. You do learn a lot about what self-compassion is and it isn't. I think we think of self-compassion and we think it's more like letting ourselves off the hook, but no, it's about accountability, giving ourselves responsibility, but also not being mean to ourselves. So I really enjoy this book. I really enjoy recommending it to clients, and I think it's a great read for starting to bring more self-care into your life and being nicer and kinder to yourself, because I know our brains is not always nice to us. So this is a good one. The final book recommendation that I have as a gift is the Set Boundaries, Find Peace by Miss Nidra Glover Tawwab. I hope I said that right. I always struggle with her name. But Nidra, such a good author, such a good, I don't know, I just love the way she explains concepts. And the first half of the book is really about teaching you how to set boundaries. And then the second one is implementing it in different areas of your life, whether that's work, friends, family, and I really think that she does a great job. I know she has another new book out, but I haven't read that one, and this is the one I always recommend to my clients when we're talking about boundaries during session, because this one really explains it in a way that's very tangible and very easy to follow. And she does give scripts on how to say, what to say, and I think that's really helpful, because sometimes I think we don't know how to express our boundaries, how to set them, and just having a little bit of guidance on the wording is so helpful. If you don't have the means right now for this book, I highly recommend to follow this author on Instagram, because she always puts little pieces of wisdom when it comes to boundaries, and she always adds all of her scripts on how to set those boundaries in relationships. So really recommend this one. Now I wanted to share just like other gifts that I think could be helpful for someone who is going through a self-care journey, a mental health journey. One of the ones that I recommend is from Silk and Sonder, and it is a self-care planner. They do monthly themes. Every month is very different, but the whole concept about this planner is to focus on self-care and prioritizing your mental health. So you'll see prompts, activities to guide you, and of course an area to plan for the week. So I really enjoyed this. It also has mood trackers, gratitude tracker. So again, really good. You can either get an annual subscription to their planner or just individually buy the planner itself. So I like this too, because if you're someone who you've never really kept up with a planner, this is really good to just start off like, hey, I'm just committing myself for a month to use a planner, and I think this will be really helpful. But if you love these kinds of planners where every month is something different and you're changing it up, you have a different theme, then I also recommend this. So I have all of the links down below for everything that I'm recommending. So that's one of the planners that I recommend for someone who is in a self-care journey or a mental health journey. Now, if you are looking for just, again, more reminders to help you through your mental health journey, these are the two things that I recommend. And these are the affirmation cards from Intelligent Change. I actually always have one right here in my desk. I also have one in my therapy office. This one basically says, if you can see it, there you go. It is, I prioritize my needs above others to make sure I'm in a good place physically, mentally, and emotionally. There is a lot of research that says when we are primed with positive messages, we are more likely to believe them. We are more likely to be more positive ourselves. We get impacted by what we consume. And so having little messages like this, whether that is for a loved one or for yourself, I love this. The two that I have are the love and relationship ones. It was something that I was focusing on this year, and I wanted a reminder of it. The relationship with myself and the relationship that I had with others. And then another thing that I was working on is my mindset around money and my money mindset. And we also have affirmations related to money and abundance. And I think this has been very healing for me to just be able to remind myself that, hey, something like I use money to create a better life for myself and others. Like that is such a great prompt. So I love this because being able to remind ourselves that money is not a bad thing. I grew up in a household where we didn't really talk about money. And I wish that I did. And so now as an adult, I'm really learning and redefining the relationship that I have with money. And these affirmations have really just reminded myself that money is useful, money is around us, and money, we don't have to feel like money has a claim over us. And I don't know, I really enjoyed having these affirmations around. So I switch them up every week depending on what my intention is. So those are some really good just like reminders. Other gifts that I recommend, and this is a book, but it's not similar to the books that I recommended. Those are more for kind of like personal development. These are activities driven. So this is a guide to self-care, and it has all kinds of different self-care activities. It goes from A to Z, so it starts with the letter A and then it goes on and gives you a variety of different self-care activities. I think this is good for someone who struggles with self-care, and it is not just your average self-care activities. Like they really give some activities that I would recommend as a therapist. I give some exercises here that I would give as a therapist during a client session. They have CBT techniques, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. So you'll see this sprinkled out throughout the book, giving you some techniques that you would only learn in a therapy office. And so I love this because this makes therapy accessible, or at least therapeutic approaches and techniques accessible for people. So I really recommend this, and I'll put it down below as well. Now, as far as like activities that I feel have been super helpful in just promoting better mental health is I found this is like a TikTok find. They were recommending this for me on TikTok. Is the We're Not Really Strangers only. These are specifically for your own self-reflection. So I love these because these are just prompts that you can use for journaling if you're someone who struggles with knowing what to write. And they're really deep. Like, look at this. Like, this is one of the ones that you would see. It says, what or who do I have an unhealthy relationship with? So it really makes you think. This one actually came with a little notebook, and I have it somewhere stored, but I didn't use a notebook because I already had one. So I was just using the prompt. So very good if you're putting a self-care package together. These are for my couples. There are two different ones from two different companies. One of them is from Intelligent Change. I absolutely love Intelligent Change. They're one of my favorite brands. And these are questions that strengthen bonds and build relationships. Me and my husband, during date nights, we like to use these because it really helps reflect us on different areas in our life and things that we may want to improve. It helps keep better communication. So I really like this. I believe they have like friend versions, family versions of this, but this is the one I got. And then similar to that, before we were introduced to those, we actually were introduced to the And Project, and there's actually a YouTube channel on them, and they actually put the conversations that the couples have. So just like opening up communication. I really like this because again, these are going to give some hard questions that you can talk to your partner about. So this, it has, I think it goes into different categories. There is a category for money, there is a category for intimacy, and you just ask a bunch of questions and you take turns asking these questions. So there's a format, and it'll tell you in the box the format for how to go about having these kinds of conversations. And I think it's a great gift. I think it's a great gift for couples in your life, or you and your couple. So that is two of the recommendations. And then for self-care activities that I just think have been really supportive for me in just not scrolling so much on the internet, and that is having a coloring book. This is the one I've had for several years now because I take my time in doing them. Like, I'm still working on this one, and I choose when I'm feeling overwhelmed to do an activity like this. So I recommend find a coloring book that you enjoy. You can even print out some coloring pages. You don't necessarily have to get a book, and find some time to just focus on this. It's such a kid activity, but I really enjoy it. It's really giving me a space just to focus on mindfulness and being present, and it's an activity I can do that doesn't involve scrolling on TikTok or Instagram or watching YouTube. I think that this is really helpful. Another one that I use often is this word search. So again, it's another activity with mindfulness, and I really enjoy doing things like this. Like puzzles it just again like allows me to, if I'm feeling anxious, it allows me to distract myself from the anxious thought. Not every thought in our life needs to be followed or given attention. I believe that wholeheartedly, and I think activities like this can help us when we're spiraling and overthinking about something that doesn't necessarily need emotional energy. So really recommend this. And then finally, it's an activity this year I've been really wanting to find like different hobbies that I enjoy, and one of the hobbies that has stuck and I really enjoy is painting by numbers. I get these from Michael's. They're like $12, $14, and they last for a long time. Like the first couple ones that I did literally took me 3 to 4 months to finish them, because it is such an activity that you can really go slow at it. There's no rush. It's more for the activity and the space to just be able to do something slow and mindful, and not so much about the outcome. I mean, the outcome is great. You get to see a beautiful picture and you can hang it if you want. But I personally just love it helping me slow down. So I really like that. And then there are 2 more items that I recommend. I don't have a picture of them, but I'm going to insert a video here. One of them that I recently incorporated in my routine back in July of 2023 was the Lofty clock, which is an alarm clock, but you are able to set it up through your phone. You could set up your alarm through your phone, and this has really allowed me to keep my phone away from my sleeping area, and also not to have an alarm that sounds so jarring and alerting that it just gives me anxiety when I wake up. So you can actually set up the alarm through your phone. There's also, you can set up the tone of how you want to get up. But what I love about it has like a gentle alarm. Like the first alarm is very gentle, and then the second alarm is a little bit more upbeat. I like that. I used to be someone who would constantly like snooze the alarm and not wanting to wake up, and this gentle alarm has really allowed me to just wake up a lot more calmer. Something else about the alarm, it has meditations, it has different sounds, it has also like storytelling, it has just like soothing nature sounds. Like, I mean, there's like so much to it that I hope I take some time this upcoming year to try a little bit more of the features, because I really have just been focusing on the alarm and the meditation. I haven't really focused on all the other features, and I've really enjoyed it. Now, even then, even if this alarm clock is not for you, I'd highly recommend just to get an alarm clock for your mental health, so that you don't have to use your phone to wake up in the morning. Because I know if we have our phone first thing in the morning, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to grab it and we're going to scroll, or we're going to look at emails, or we're going to look at the text messages we got. We're going to put our attention to somebody else. So if anything that you got from this video is to just get an alarm clock, because that will really help support you waking up and not putting your attention on other people, but focusing on yourself. So that's one of the recommendations that I have for you to just help support your mental health. So I hope that you enjoyed all of the recommendations that I have. Comment down below what gift you would like to give someone or yourself. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button and consider subscribing to the channel. I hope to see you in my next video.